Hello, Connor here, for day 62 of meditation. And today, after probably about 20 minutes of straight thinking during meditation, we finally obtained presence through mindfulness meditation. Yeah, we were very thinky at the start of it, which is fine. It happens even at the 2 month mark. But we did obtain that presence and we did start to take recognition of the world again, which we haven't done in a few days. I think when that happens, if once we haven't participated in the present or meditation for a few days, we can tend to begin to overlook it again. We can begin to feel like we don't need it, or that we could be doing other things or more stimulating things. So once you do sit down for a period and you do get that realization of presence back, and that it actually is pretty helpful and pretty calming, a pretty blissful demeanor to have, that's when you're like, okay, kind of remember why we're on this journey to meditate every day and why we see it as an important endeavor. So that's one thing. We recognize that it's not really, I was meditating in the backyard, and it's not the backyard that changes, it's our attitude towards it. So on one day we can be fully present, we can have a blissful state of mind, and we will admire, appreciate, and absorb everything around us and just see it for what it truly is. And that's determined by attitudes on those days. Well, not attitudes to an extent, also the amount we're able to flip our perception on things as well, which does come to meditation too. But on another day, we may not care about the backyard. We may not care about the meditation. We might have more compelling things on our mind that are constantly steering us away from the present, away from this meditation, due to like distractive factors or just factors which allow us to overlook the meditation, which is not what you're meant to do during meditation. So our attitude can depict whether you have good meditation, bad meditation, and I guess when you realize this, you can notice that and come to this recognition where you don't really want your meditation to be determined by your attitude on the day for a consistent, reliable meditation. So you have to work with this, figure it out, and figure out, I guess, to stop complaining. I think that's the goal, is to not complain about things going forward. Because I think when we start complaining, we can be put into a habit of it. We can get lazy because of it. Like, you start complaining about how you're feeling, if you're feeling tired. You start complaining that you're too tired for gym. You start complaining that your mind's not with it today and that you don't feel like doing stuff. I don't know, it seems like a lot of negative self-talk, which is going to keep you being lazy and going to act as the thing which brings down your motivation. I think we've got to stop letting our attitude be determined by how we're feeling in the day. Stop complaining about it and rather just do it, I guess. Just do it. It's like the Nike ad. Today's message is kind of, I mean, it's also a holiday, which is cool. Thought about before, like a month ago or whatever. It was in our meditations. Thought about it again today. While talking to Pippa, we're all just like, we're just on this rock planet. It's like just one big holiday for us, really. And I know that doesn't seem like it for everyone because there's a lot going on in the world. A lot of things more harsh than life in Australia. But what I mean is, like, we can see, we experience, we're consciousness. We talked about the 10D movie, we feel all sorts of senses. And we're just placed on this rock where no one has a clue what they're doing. I noticed this because I was looking at Pippa, my dog, and I was like, yeah, she probably thinks that we know what's going on. Because, like, you know, we're like the alien creatures that like look after her and everything, we're big people. She probably thinks we have some sort of idea, but well, I don't even know if they think that deep. But you know, they think we're like something that knows something, whereas we're just animals, just like the dog. So we don't really know what's going on. So it's kind of just like a holiday being on this planet. Given we choose what we want to do, we live out a life, and that's our holiday. Just kind of fun. That's why you want to choose your own holiday to a sense, to a degree. You don't go on holidays to live a, to live day by day in environments which you don't like. I don't know. So, moral of the story today is we're on holidays, one big holiday, 0 to 100, 0 to whatever, and let's just live it, and let's know that we kind of have some creativity with it as well. All the structures we confine ourselves to are usually societal made, so there's a bit more freedom than the society we've built over the course of time. So it certainly gets stuff done, but yeah, you can have some personal freedom to it as well, and that comes with perspective too. And two is stop complaining. It's not the environment that changes, it's usually your attitude. So let's get rid of the complaints and the lack of motivation to do anything, or just the complaining about doing anything, and let's just take on the days, take on the challenges, take on the tasks that we need to without any complaints or without any resistance. Because if we keep complaining, we're just going to build lazier and lazier habits within ourselves, which is not helpful. And if you're feeling like shit, just feel like shit and experience the moment. Anyway, see ya. Have a nice day. See you day 63. Hello, Connor here for day 63 of meditation. And today was a pretty good meditation. Reason being, there's a difference between going into meditation and actually meditating. And we've recognized this difference in the past, but we recognized it once again today because as of late we've been going into meditation for an hour per se, but meditation's only happening probably for like 10 minutes of that hour, which isn't ideal. And then you begin to think, what else could you be? Or for example, today we began to think, what else could I be doing with this time? I need to get the mowing done, I need to do some boxing, I need to do some other stuff, and I'm just sitting here thinking about things. And that kind of opened the doorway to understand that if you're going out for meditation, that time can be wasted if you go out to meditate and you just sit there in thought. And this is like contemplative thought about meditation and stuff, then yes. But if you're just thinking about everyday things, addictions, all sorts of stuff, then yes, that meditation will not really be meditation, and you're just sitting out staring at things, thinking about random things that you could be doing anywhere, anytime, and there will be no benefit from that. So after recognizing this today, and we recognized it pretty early into the meditation, maybe 10 minutes or so, we're like, yes, we could sit here and think of all sorts of things. Even yesterday we were thinking of PoE, Path of Exiles 2, which is just a game. We were thinking about that for 20 minutes because it was new to me and it was interesting. And but why? Why during meditation do you choose to think about stuff you could be thinking about on the walk to work, sort of thing? So yeah, I guess today was regarding the difference between going out for meditation and actually meditating. And it allowed me to realize that, hey, if you're walking out for meditation or you're going into meditation, the only way you're actually going to benefit and realize and take things away from it is if you actually attempt to meditate and you actually attempt to hold that presence for longer durations and delve deep into topics that you don't truly understand, and that really helped the meditation take a more present route and a more focused route as well. The rest of our meditation today was very just trying to be present, just trying to focus on breathing and presence, feeling, seeing. Just a big mindfulness session, but it did take reminding ourselves what meditation's about before we began to meditate properly again and use our time to the most benefit instead of sitting down and not using it for meditation. Going out for meditation but not actually meditating. So that was a big one today, and that certainly allowed us to gain more presence and feel a lot more present and calm in the current moment, and to recognize the current moment as an important moment, as this moment, these feelings, these attitudes, they're what we navigate with now, and as long as we're present with it and we see the present blissful state of actually living and being in this world, then everything becomes quite relaxed. It's opened our eyes to navigate this trail of meditation once again, and to see what we can accomplish in it. Because yes, if you go without meditation for long enough, or you go without mindfulness, you can certainly attempt to slip up and forget what you're doing and lose that meditative aspect to oneself. So do meditation, and when you're in meditation, actually participate in meditating. It can be hard to tell the difference sometimes, but you know when you're present and you know when you're not, most of the time, when you understand it, I guess. But the presence is a very different look and a very different feel to non-presence, because when you're present you actually see. Non-presence, you think you see, but no, you're like too with it in here, you're too with your head, and you don't actually see. Okay, that's it for day 63. Keen for more meditation, and we'll be back for day 64. See ya. Hello, Connor here for day 64 of meditation, and today was a good meditative day. We delved into a method talked about recently, the Just Be method, but kind of a different approach. We feel like, well, I personally feel like I need to take a note out of my own book, because we noticed we need to just be more. I don't mean more as in like we need to be more, I mean like just be in the moment completely as we are more often. We figured this out coming into realization of guilt, feeling guilty, and through self-ridicule. So we noticed that self-ridicule usually comes from the past. Usually like if you've been in an upbringing where you've been looked down upon, or you've been depicted a certain way by other individuals, then you can form these labels, much like the Just Be method earlier, which tackled anxiety. But that's saying self-ridicule comes from negative self-thought and negative self-worth, which usually stems from the past or beliefs about oneself. But today recently the problem has more been expectations. So feeling as though you're not living up to your own expectations and feeling guilty because of that, which is silly. And coming to this realization that, hey, you're feeling guilty because you're not living up to your own expectations, because you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not working constantly. You can attach yourself to anything, but essentially you gotta let go of that a little bit. It is good to work towards things, but if you're like emphasizing this so much, I'll go this side because it's easier for you guys. If you're emphasizing this so much that you're beating yourself up and feeling like shit here, then it's kind of like, yeah, what are you doing? And you're not really living your happiest life in the moment. Yes, guilt helps to propel us to change ways and do things differently. But if we know what we want to do, we're just having a day off or like something that gets in the way of it for one day, and then we decide to feel guilty on that day. It's a bit like very silly. And technically, the things we have to do, we don't really need to do. It's just we choose how we live our life, and it doesn't really matter. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but like, it's not the end of the world if one day we don't, or a couple of days we don't work towards what we wish to do. I also recognize that through this perception of wanting to be this, or trying to live up to this, it's a false representation. And through attempting to live up to the labels that you place on yourself, your future self here, we actually overlook the greatest part of ourself, and the one with the most potential, which is the just be self. The one she's just right here. It's in the moment. Sees everything in the moment. The awareness, essentially, the awareness which sees before us in the moment that we're in. That is the truest self. Obviously, there's deeper concepts and all sorts of stuff to it, but if you're living up to an image of thoughts, then no matter how grand, it will never be an essential part of yourself. And realizing this, we came into the recognition that all we really want in life is to just be us. Just be myself. Just be yourself. This is complex for an ego mind, because ego minds never truly understand themselves. That comes from labels, as we have discussed earlier. That comes from identifying with certain things and trying to live up to that representation that we build here. When we refer to just being the self, just be, we're referring to the awareness self, the one that sees this, doesn't conform to it, sees everything. And from this self, the goal is to obtain it essentially like all the time, like navigate from this awareness all the time, because there's knowledge to it, there's a profound peace to it, and there's like a unfaltering belief in it. I don't know, belief's the right word, but it feels unfaltering. Like it feels like when you are completely present in the awareness, you navigate so naturally and so just in the moment that you don't need to think about it. It's weird. I think when you don't, you know it's you because you don't need to think. I don't know, that strange concept. You can delve into that more yourself. Or we'll delve into it another day. But there's just a profound sense to it, and it's very peaceful, very blissful. And it's by just being in the moment. And when we are just in the moment, that is all we ever need to be. And when we navigate from our pure self, everything unfolds from an authentic place, a genuine place within. Yeah. We'll leave it there today. We need to delve into thinking more, because from this outlook it does seem like thinking, and I mean from many outlook it does seem like thinking is the bearer of our troubles and the bearer of our misfortunes. So yeah, I guess message of today is just don't feel guilty due to expectation. 1. 2 is navigate from a place of completely being your true self, not the ego self, the self which sees the present self that's in the moment constantly and navigates in the moment without labels or depictions of what they must do or be or whatever. Just being in the moment, because that is you, that is just being just as you are. And from this place you'll have a lot more peace, and each moment of every day you can truly live it rather than be thinking the next moment or the previous moment or doubtful thoughts or all sorts of things. So yes, anyway, take care and we'll see you for day 65 and update you on all of this. See ya.